Assalamu alaikum. Sulaiman Rahim here, messenger of the covenant. Brothers and sisters, this is Critical Analytics. Today we're going to discuss the evil Trinity. They call it the Holy Trinity, but it's the evil Trinity. I'm going to tell you some historical facts that they don't want you to know about. So, let's proceed. Now, Gog and Magog. We hear about them in the Sealed Bible. Hear about them in Revelation chapter 20, that they would come out and cover the whole world after being in the pit for 1,000 years. Now, that's the great deception. They said they would deceive the whole world. What mean that great deception? Because they're telling you that's the future. That's some future millennium. No, that's the past. That's a history from the angel's point of view when it was revealed by Prophet Jesus. That was the future then. When the Sealed Bible was revealed, the so-called New Testament was revealed, it was the future then, the millennia. He was talking about in the future. He was talking 500 years in the future, the millennia would take place. And it says that the devil and the dragon and Gog and Magog, the serpent, say all of them, they were thrown into a pit for 1,000 years. The reason why they don't want you to know that, brothers and sisters, because reveal who they are. That's the great deception. So they received the whole world about what? About the millennia. About that is what they're deceiving the world about. What's in that chapter? Because that is something that's taken place in the past. All you have to do is flip the switch, brothers and sisters. We keep telling you there's light switches all over the place. You don't have to walk in the darkness. Just go and read your history. What happened during the Dark Ages? And compare it to chapter 20. Compare the two together. Right? It says there was a resurrection and a casting down at the same time, simultaneously. See? And the casting down would last for 1,000 years. And the resurrection people, they would be in power for 1,000 years. And after 1,000 years over, Gog and Magog would be let loose and they would cover the whole world. And then it would come. And after that, yet future, then what do you mean? I mean, Satan supposed to have control of the whole world anyway, right? I mean, come on. So that's what it's talking about. See, what it's talking about is that Gog and Magog is America and Britain. They came out 1,000 years. After 1,000 years, Britain came out and they covered the whole world, a world they didn't know existed. And it's only been two powers since then, two world powers, America and Britain. I mean, what else do you need to know, brothers and sisters? Gog and Magog. And they would run for a season, which talked about 500 years. After being in the pit, they was locked down in the pit for 1,000 years. Who locked them down in the pit? Islam. Prophet Muhammad's empire locked them down. That's the one. Someone had, remember there was an angel with a chain that locked them up. How was they locked up? How was Europe locked up in the Dark Ages? It was the Islamic empire that locked them up for 1,000 years. That's why they don't want you to know about that. That's why they're telling you the future. Because if you know that history, lights are coming all over the place. Because you know who Gog and Magog is, you know America and Britain, you know that the cross is not a symbol of Christ, it's a symbol of Satan. The brass serpent, if you understand down, you know that is a symbol of Satan. It's not a symbol of the Christ. See? And they was the ones in it was Europeans that was in the Dark Age. It wasn't the whole world, it was just them. For 1,000 years, is that a coincidence? And the Islamic Empire, Muhammad's Islamic Empire lasted for 1,000 years. And then when Gog and Magog came out, right, they put everybody down. And it says they would reign, and it says at the end of their reign, right, they would take and go back and circle the holy city, people that put them in the pit to begin with. And they said they bring fire out of heaven upon them. That's what he's doing right now. The skies are dark with drones, bringing hellfire missiles down to people's heads. And said that's when they would meet their end. It's right there, brothers and sisters. Oh, you got to flip the switch. See, anyway, so we're going to talk about this evil Trinity, the great deception, betrayed. Brothers and sisters, how did we get into the hands of the Europeans, the Egyptians, scriptural Egyptians? How did we get in their hands? See, go. If you trace it back, you find that we were Muslims. See, it was part of Muhammad's empire. It was Muslims. See, and the Arabs, they control all of, and the Arabs, right, they control all of North Africa along with the Moors, who were black Africans. So how do Europeans get into inner Africa, right, to get to us? Because we were betrayed by the Sunni Arabs, Ishmael. If you go back and look at the old movies and those all roots and everything else, you see Arabs leading the Europeans into the continent of Africa to find the blacks, to enslave them. We was betrayed by Ishmael, the Sunnis. And the ones over here right now trying to make love with you. Oh, come here, go to our mosque. Pray with us. Forget about that Elijah stuff. Forget about that Abrahamic covenant stuff, because that's not y'all. Ishmael received the covenant. See? Just forget about that stuff. That's them. Why are they over here doing that? They wasn't doing it before. They was over 100 years before Master Muhammad came over in Detroit. They was all over the place, but they had many mosques up in Detroit, in that area, and not one imam came out and said boo to any black person, not one. And they knew how we got over here. They knew they betrayed us. They knew it was Muslims when we came. That's what was told by Alex Haley. Malcolm X told me it was Muslims. He came and said, oh man, they weren't no Muslims, right? And then what happened? He went and did the research and found it was true. What was that movie, Amistad? Where all the sisters on the ship was dressed like Muslims. We're Muslims. See, was betrayed by Ishmael. And now they're not over here, brothers and sisters, to be friends with you, to love you. They're over here watching you. They want you to give the Abrahamic covenant stuff. So they want to make sure you stay betrayed. They're not over here to be friends with you. They open stores in your neighborhood, right? Make sure you stay ignorant, selling you pornography, pork. Trying to hit on the black women. They watch you to make sure you stay down, under. And they're paying off Farrakhan to keep that going. He's being paid off by them to get rid of that Abrahamic covenant stuff. Say, we ain't going nowhere. Because if we leave here, where are we going? See, if we leave here, where are we going? Ask yourself the question. If we leave here, where are we going? We're going back and take that land that belongs to us. That's why Farrakhan said we ain't going nowhere. That's what they want to hear over there. Because if we go over there, it means it's going to be a fight battle. And we're taking our land back that belongs to us. That's why Farrakhan said we ain't going nowhere. Elijah Muhammad said we'd be fools to want to stay here in the land of our imprisonment. So who's lying? You saying Elijah Muhammad's lying? And Farrakhan's the truthful one? You can't have it both ways. So one of them are lying. So you claim you follow Elijah Muhammad, so you call him a liar. Because he said you'd be fool to want to stay here in the land of your imprisonment. Farrakhan said we ain't going nowhere. That's what Sunnis wouldn't hear. They paid him off. See, he was where Wild was teaching that stuff. Wild was paid off too. His Belialian BS. Better wake up, brothers and sisters. They betrayed us. And now you got Wild Farrakhan's people going to their mosque, praying with people that call their God a fraud and call their messenger a liar, call Elijah Muhammad a liar, and Master Muhammad a fraud. And they're praying with those people. If people don't give a damn about you, they don't associate with you, they don't invite you to their houses. But they'd rather be around white Christians. They invite them to their houses. They spend time with them. They don't want you around. They come over here marrying them. They don't come over here marrying you. And show me one Sunni that came over here, or Arab over here, and married any black person. Show me just once. Show me one example of it. But I can show you a lot of examples where they come over here to marry white Christians. What was that woman that married that guy up in that congressman up in New York? She was Arab, and she married a Jew. He turned out to be a pedophile and carrying on. Better wake up that damn Farrakhan. He's a no good, stinking liar. But we're going to talk about him again. But that's the whole story about Joseph. Joseph was betrayed by his brothers because they knew he was going to be the ruler. So they betrayed him. Threw him in the hands of the Egyptians. That's how we got him. That's how they got us. Arabs betrayed us. And we were supposed to be their brothers. We are their brothers. Why do you think they call them desert niggers? White folks know what's going on. See? They are half brothers. See? Because we Abraham's seed through Sarah. They're Abraham's seed through Abraham's maiden. Even though the elders, the inherit, God blessed the marriage, right, between Abraham and his wife, not between Abraham and his maid. That's what he blessed. He blessed Isaac, not Ishmael. And the Bible said Ishmael would be a donkey of a man. I see why they don't like the Bible too much. Because it said when Abraham blessed them, now they claim they got inheritance, but go and read it. It tells you what Abraham had two toys of him. When he got to Ishmael, he said, Ishmael, you're a donkey of a man. So your hands will be against everybody, and everybody's hand will be against you. And you see how stupid they are over there? See? Now there's a jinn making love with the Jaal, Gog and Magog, allying themselves with them. The enemy, brothers and sisters, they sold us, and they're over here right now to make sure, you understand, that the deal, you understand, that what they sold remains sold. Okay? Consummated, so to speak. That's one leg of the Trinity. And then, who was it that they sold us to? The Egyptians. See? Who oppressed us. Okay, there you go. That's the Christians. See? They Satan's followers. See? We always so as soon as it's really the jinn, that's why they lie and everything. Because they're talking about the deception, because they don't want you to know who they are. They're the jinn, right? See? And these are Satan's followers. These are devils. You see? They said they'd be locked up in the pit for 1,000 years. But now they claim they're the followers of Christ. They said Satan's going to appear as an angel of light. And they claim we're followers of Christ. The Christ condoned genocide, murder, rape, sodomite people, oppression, enslavement. Is those the works of Jesus? They're not followers of Jesus. They're followers of Satan. See? And that's the Egyptians that Sunnis sold us to. And that says they were beasts and oppressors and everything else. See? They have no love for us. They showed up 40 years, and now you got these people telling you, oh man, we gotta love them and everything. We're gonna deal with them in a minute too. Find who they are. See? So oppression. See? First betrayal, then oppression. See? They dragged us over here and oppressed us. And they're still oppressing us, because as long as we're here, we've been oppressed. Because our nature, we're not living under our nature. We're not living our laws. We're living according to them. And if we don't follow what they say, then we get our ass thrown in jail. Ain't that oppression? Because we can't be ourselves. If we're ourselves, that's against the law. So just don't break the law. Well, then stop being yourself. That's what they're telling you. Oh, just do what they say. Well, that means tell you, go against your nature. And you'll be okay. See? Then you'll be okay with them. But you won't be okay with your God. You won't be okay with yourself, because you're going to be unhappy. But you're going against your own nature. That's why so many of us in prison. Because once you act according to your nature, you're in trouble with them. See? That's the second leg of this Trinity. See? It was the Sunnis, so-called Muslims. They're not Muslims, they're jinn. They want souls in slavery. And then you got the devils masquerading as Christians who are followers of Satan, not followers of Christ. Jesus said, your work, your followers the devil. And your works he would do. He's a liar and murderer from the beginning. And we speak of lies, speak of his own. That means these people, all they do is lie. That's all they do is lie. I don't tell you about anything. Just watch the news. Understand, brothers and sisters. That's the second leg. See? Oppression by those who call themselves Christians, claim to be followers of Christ. So do you feel like you've been under the rule of Christ since you've been here for 40 years? Do you feel like you was being ruled by Christians or ruled by devils? Ask yourself the question. Who do you feel you was ruled by? Who your ancestors ruled by for 40 years? Was it by Christians or by devils? Just ask yourself that. Was it angels or devils? That should be a simple question. See? But again, tiger changed the stripe. Oh, well, yeah, they was like that before. They ain't like that now. Who's telling you that? And then, the financiers. Who financed the slave trade? The bringing the slaves up. Who financed it? There you go. False Israel. That's the last leg of the Trinity. They financed it. So you had the one that betrayed us, right? The one that bought us and oppressed us, and the one that financed the whole affair. And that's a fact. That's why you got these big false Israel finance houses. How they got all that money? Lehman Brothers and all them, they got the money off of slavery. Where do you think Wall Street came from? Where do you think that name from? That name Wall Street, right? That name Wall Street comes from, it used to be a wall of slavery where they sold slaves. They called it Wall Street. That's where it came from. Check it out. That's where God's name, it was a wall where they sold slaves. That was up in New York, wasn't down south. And on that note, right, you better go check your history. Because they say, oh, we were against slavery, we stop it. Look, go and check history. The South only controlled 20% of the government, 20%. Almost never the presidency. 20% of the government in the Senate and the House. That means the North had 80% of the government almost all the time. So if they was against slavery, they could stop it with a vote. They had to go to war. They could stop it with a vote. They wasn't against it. They was against when they went to the Industrial Revolution, they was against having to compete with slave labor. That's what they was against. Not you as being a slave, because slavery was going on. Like I said, Wall Street, that's up north, and New York, and it was a major slave selling center. That's why they call it Wall Street. They still got the name. And a little segue here, because I mentioned, and I kind of got off track of a couple of presentations ago. I can't remember this guy. I still can't remember his name. Representative, I can't think of his name right now. But he's the one that, maybe I can get it right quick. He's the one, the Savage? Gus Savage. That was his name, Gus Savage. Right? He was a representative. And they discovered that there was a major slavery graveyard up in New York. Right off of Wall Street, in that area, where they buried slaves, the ones that got buried. See? In the South, they didn't waste time burying you. If you was on a plantation, they waste time burying you. No. They used all parts of you. Johnny said he used everything of the pig, but he used everything of you. Because when you no longer was breathing, right? See, then they would be fed to the pigs, and to the alligators and whatever else. See, they use your hair for making stuffing, for stuffing pillows and things. It's sad how sick these people are. But Gus Savage, right? He exposed them. because they wanted to build, and when they excavating, right, they found that this was a black graveyard. So he wanted to make it a memorial site, and the Jews up there said, "No, hell with that, man," because they already bought the land they was about to build, and that was going to cost him a lot of money. And so he was a congressman, so he pushed it. He says no. He forced it, and they could not build. They told him they was going to get him. We're going to get you, and he did. So when he ran again, they had this old buck-tooth house, all of them house Negroes, right? But they had one guy nobody ever seen before. They pulled him out of a homeless shelter or something, and he had all this backing. He said, "How does this guy get all this money? How do you get all this backing? How do you get all this backing? Where you got his money from?" They found that he was being backed by the Jewish lobby. He said, "Why is they backing him?" Now Gus Savage knew what the deal was, but he was being a little coy here. He tried to be because he knew it. But see, the point is, he was a part of all this to begin with. He was part of the Congressional Black Caucus, the Congressional Demon Black Caucus. He's part of it. But see, he got mad because they ran this guy against him, and he had all this money. I don't know if he won or lost. And it's a matter of public record. You can Google it. Because he spoke about all this on the Congress floor, so they made a congressional record, and you can Google it because you hear him talking about it. So he said that the other black members were selling black people out because he says when they have a budget, I know most of you should know what a budget is, right? He said when they have a budget, America has a budget, they have a limited amount of money. Well, they act like they got infinite amount of money, but he said they have a limited amount of money. How much to spend on this, how much to spend on that, whatever. And so when it came, because like we part of the chattel, right? So we're part of what they own. So they got a budget how much they're going to spend on the Negroes, right? So he says, what happens is when it comes time to figure out how much of the pie they're going, just like a pie, right? And so you can slice it, how much percent of the budget they're going to spend on black people. Well, the Jewish lobby was paying off these black people, right? These Congressional Black Caucus, the demons, to take less, to give the Jewish cause, false Israel, more. Yeah. So in other words, they was taking money that was supposed to be allocated to black people, was given to false Israel over there, because the pie is limited, right? So he says, okay, we need more money, so we're going to take from white folks. He ain't taking it from us. Everybody said, you want to take it from us? See, we need it. The military said, ain't taking it from us. So they said, okay, let's talk to these black folks. So they was paying them off. They said, okay, you will take less, so false Israel get more. This is a fact. Gus Savage exposed all. But he did it because he was trying to get revenge against the Jews. But he was part of it too, because he was selling out black folks too. He just tried to put it off because he was trying to get back at the Jews for getting after him. See how these Negroes are? But he still take the blame. He tried to make like it was them. He was part of it. It's Gus Savage, look him up. He was Illinois, congressional out of Illinois. Right, might have been Chicago. I knew he was a congressman out of Illinois, right? And you can go Google it, or you can see it on YouTube, because he's actually speaking on the congressional floor, telling about it. Yeah, man, how they, because he was trying to get them, but so he tried to get them by spilling the beans on the rest of the black folks, but trying to exclude himself. I keep telling you, these people, they're demons. So money that should have went for black causes, it goes over to false Israel, and then you get only money you get, right? Is transportation to prison. The money they got to pay to transfer your ass to prison. So they financed the whole affair. See, but now they're your friends. See, they got a good. Oh, we're friends. We love you. We're your friends. You know what I'm saying? We stand with you. Civil rights and all this kind of stuff. Bullshit. See. Because the money that's going to false Israel over there is money that would have been going to you, see, for your jobs, and them takes care of you, it went to them. And they're not telling you that. Go check it out. I keep telling you, these people, right, you the real deal, these people are living off of you. See? Because you got the Sunnis, they pretending, right, that they inheritors, that the land belongs to them. So they're getting rich off our land. Land is ours. They're getting rich off of it, right? False Israel claiming they're us. So they're getting rich. They're getting rich off the support, the world support, right? Because everybody trying to support Israel. Oh, Israel suffers so much, man, everything. So when they getting all that kind of support, and my financial and military, everything support because they suffering. What about us suffering? So all that good, more and support and everything, they get it. They get the blessings that would have went to us. See, Ishmael's taking advantage of our land, so he get rich off that belongs to us. See, and then the devils, right? They get rich off of us because they took our humanity and everything, our lives, our bodies, so everything, our vision, everything, or everything we do, right? All the energy we have, that's what they take all the energy we have personally and give it to them. They take all the energy and just give it to them. You see? What they say, right? They're the followers of Christ. That means they own. Christ said they're going. Whoever they're going to rule the world. Everything belongs to them. So we belong to them. Our bodies, our soul, everything. So they're getting rich off just taking our energy directly. So as soon as they're taking our land, getting rich off of it, they taking our identity, and they taking our soul, our body, everything. Rape our women, take our children, sodomize us, murder us, force their religion on us, force their vision on us. See, they're all getting rich. That's why, and by stealing, see, because they're pretending. Remember, all of them pretending, right? They're all imposters. Getting rich off the masquerade. And then you got the demons. Say, well, I thought it said Trinity. It is. See? They're not part, they're part of it. They're not one of the legs of it. See, they involve their subversion. See? They're our hidden enemy. See? So they walking around, make sure, see, they're in disguise to watch you, right? To subvert you, to make sure you stay on, you just keep loving master, to keep making sure you don't wake up, right? See, they're the spies, the agents. We know about them even in the field. See, they're the parasites that's living off of you. They're all about subversion. Subvert all your any efforts you have, right? To go for self, to get the hell out of here. See, to manifest yourself as a true seed of Abraham. Because they saying, no, we ain't true. See, because they speak for you. They say, we ain't the true seed, and you think, wait a minute, no, they ain't. But you think they're talking about us because they don't give us a voice. See, they're our voice. Think about it. They're our voice. See, they're our character. See, they're our picture. They're our image. The whole world sees. So they speak for us. So say, oh no, we're not the seed of Abraham. See? We love America. We love massa. Our slavery was so bad. See? You see this problem here? That's not us talking. They're having a ventriloquist. See, so they're the image the world sees, and they think they're seeing us. But they look like us. It's a virgin. See? They're not a separate leg. They built right in. See? Master's children that he created just for that purpose. They keep an eye on you, they watch you. See? They see you waking up, or you're not buying, you're not drinking the Kool-Aid, and they make sure you understand. They take your ass out. They do something. They report you. Tell your master, hey man, you got something over there, man. You got to watch him. You see? So When the world sees them, they think they're seeing us because they look like us. Oh, those black folks, they like over there. It wasn't so bad over there. See, because they weren't suffering that. Or they went through slavery like we did. They didn't suffer. They was in master's house. While you was out eating shit and chitlins, right? They was in there eating pork chops. You say, well, man, yeah, well, you know, hey, if it's a trip to chitlins and pork chops, I go to pork chops. Both of them are bad. But chitlins is pork too, ain't it? You see what I'm saying? So, you know, they had decent clothes, decent work hours. You had nothing. And that picture, some movie I was watching, Kufa, I can't think of the name, Kuka, whatever, Kufa, right? See, it was pretty close, but still, it was still off mark. Because they show black folks having time to themselves and everything. You didn't have time yourself there. They watch you 24/7. You didn't have no time to be friendly and friend with each other. They watch you 24/7. I know, because I got relatives I talk to. And this was at the end of slavery. They said at night, right, they'd watch you all day, and at night, he told me, because he was living in North Carolina, and he told me, asked me, I said, you know, he says, the house he lived in, said, used to be Master's house, a little small, like 3-4 bedroom house, right? One story. And outside was a little shack with no bigger than a small bathroom, right? See? And he said it didn't have no floor, nothing. It was dirt floor. A little shack. I guess it would be about maybe 4 feet by 4 feet, maybe about 5-6 feet high, maybe 5 feet high, something like that. 4 feet by 4 feet. Think about that. He says their whole family, they were all slaves. They would lock them up there at night. They had no floor out. Lock them in there at night. Lock them in there. And that's where they have to sleep, all the whole family. So they had to go to the bathroom, everything. That was it. There wasn't no bathroom in there. It was just one little like a little room. That's all it was. No floor, no windows, anything. He said, well, lock them in there at night to make sure they didn't get away. So if you go to bed, that's where you had to go. And everybody sleep on top of each other. That's what he told me. See, so they give you the real, what do they call it, whitewash version. They do a lot of whitewashing because you ain't have no idea what slavery was like. You ain't gonna ever see it on TV, and you can't imagine it because your mind is not that corrupt. You cannot imagine what they did to us. You can't. If you tried, you could not. If you think the worst things that you can think of, they've done that, and a lot worse that you can't even imagine because you don't have the mind for that. See? And these people here, they was part of that, to keep that going. Because the more you was oppressed, the more they got out of you with capitalism, right? Capitalism is all about, right, maximum profit and minimum overhead. Ain't that a definition of slavery? You get work out of them and don't pay them nothing. So the more they oppress you, the more master made off you, the better they did. Look how good they doing. Look how well they looking over there. They rich. They got nice cars, nice houses, and everything else. And they probably representing you. How in the hell they represent you if they got that? You ain't got a damn thing. How is they representing you? Only time you see them is election time. So, subversion. See? That's what they're all about, subversion. Keeping you quiet. Oh, love master. That's the preachers. Some of the people, they're preachers. Oh, obey master. Love master. Stay on the farm. See? If you start getting unruly, they start threatening you. Well, you know, a master, when you die master in the sky, that white Jesus on the wall, he's going to get your ass for being mean master. He's going to burn your ass up forever, never, never. Ooh, ooh. So they got you coming and going. And don't tell me that's not true, because right in the it's right in the American, it's right in the national anthem. It says you should be terrorized in this life, and you should have no respite even with the grave. In other words, you should be terrorized even after beyond the grave by white Jesus. That you love him so much. But our people really don't love Jesus. See, it's the demons that do. Our people really don't. See, they're going to find out in a minute. Our people really don't. They might be going to church and everything for other reasons, but they ain't really up on Jesus like these folks are. These demons love Jesus like you can't imagine. The Quran says, right, they all will love him before they die. Because Jesus, this whole idea of sealed Bible is their mind print. See? You have like a mind matrix. You see? You know, like, well, best way I can explain it is like, your mind works a certain way. And everybody's mind works a certain way. So what the scientists did, they wrote the Old Testament, the sealed Bible, right, to fit to run on that type of software hardware. That's the software they run on the devil's hardware, because their mind is constructed a certain way. And so that software runs fine on that hardware. It don't run on our hardware. If they put on hardware, it doesn't run. It doesn't run too well. You might get it run, but it won't run too well. That's why I say our people really ain't down with Jesus like these people are, because that software runs perfectly on their minds. Perfectly. It was designed for their mind, the nature of their mind structure, their hardware. Like a computer. You have Mac, you have Apple, you have IBM, whatever, right? And Apple software was not running IBM. You might get work a little bit, but it's not going to run well. You have to understand that concept. Christianity was designed for their mind their mind structure. And so that's why the Quran says all of them will believe in before they die. Because it's built into their mind. It's a software that runs on it was designed to run on their minds. That's why oppression of women, all that kind of stuff, because they got an evil, wicked mind, and that fits right into how they think. Enslaving people, that fits right into where they think. So therefore they adapt it. Yeah, man, it feels right. It feels right. See? You have to understand that. That's the way their hardware is, but their brain is built, and that software is designed to run on that type of brain. And the AL-INJIL Unlocked Bible is designed to run on the original brain. And when they hear it, right, they're going to start gravitating towards it. The problem is, these people are preventing them from hearing it. They're blocking it. They want you to upload that software. Well, don't upload that software. That software will work on your computer. Upload this one. Even though your computer's it's buffering everything else, man. Yeah, but it'll work out. Don't worry. See, don't load that. Don't load that one though. Don't load that AL-INJIL. Man, because you load that, man, it's got virus and stuff in it, man. It's gonna take your computer down. That's exactly what they're saying, brothers and sisters. Stay away from that AL-INJIL. Stay away from Suleiman, right? Like stay away from SARC, like stay away Bill Gates or Microsoft, right? Or stay away from that, you know, because that software that guy got, man, ooh, it's gonna take your computer down. It's got virus and everything in it. That's what Farrakhan, all of them are doing. Because they know once you upload it, you ain't going back. See? But the sealed Bible is designed to run, so you can't argue with them. It's designed to run smoothly. Capitalism, democracy, it runs smoothly on their brains. It was designed for their brains, not designed for ours. And the diversion, see, he's a chief demon. Diversion, see, don't use that software over there. Use my software. My software works, guaranteed. You know, if it's not working, it means you ain't. You know, you didn't upload it properly, you know, or you didn't use it properly, see, or you need to upgrade. Anything to keep you from uploading AL-INJIL. Anything, diversion, anything to keep you uploading, because you know, once you upload that, he's through, he's finished. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Hope you understand that concept, right? See? Now, their minds, see, they got a weaker mind. And that software runs their mind. But their mind, right, all around you, everything around you, brothers and sisters, right, it's all about pressure. But your whole, and thought is pressure. And this whole system, this whole reality we have, came from the mind, came from somebody's mind, came from their mind. That means pressure. That's the pressure that the world is under their mind. The pressure's under their mind right now. See? When all the society, all the stuff you see, technology, everything reflects the pressure of their mind. Their mind, that mind will bring it in because, right, that's a reflection of the pressure of their mind. But if somebody comes with a greater mind, that means it's going to produce greater pressure. That means it's going to force this out because greater pressure pushes away weaker pressure. And that's what's happening. See, because when Suleiman comes, right, you can have just a little bit of high pressure and a lot of low pressure. It's still going to move that low pressure out the way. I don't care. You can have a whole planet of low pressure, right? And just one little small ball of high pressure. That high pressure still going to move that low pressure out the way. Low pressure, I don't care how much it is, it cannot withstand against high pressure. It doesn't matter how much it is. It can be low pressure, the entire universe. It cannot withstand against high pressure. Higher pressure will always move away low pressure, no matter how much of it is. And that's what's happening. The angel is higher pressure. It comes from a higher pressure mind. And all original people have higher structured mind. The problem is that they're trying to keep the pressure low in their minds by having to run this weak software. So it lowers the pressure, like lowering your blood pressure. It lowers the pressure in their mind, running this software. But once they below the angel, right, boom, right, the mind pressure rises back up and becomes greater than theirs. So they want to keep your pressure equal to their pressure or lower. That means they have control of you, or you don't have any effect on them because your pressure is equal. If the pressure is equal, nothing happens. But if your pressure gets higher, it dispels them. So that's what his job is, to make sure your pressure never don't upload the angel, because it's like a pump. You pump greater pressure, so of course that tire expand. A little old pump can push a whole, right? Can make a whole tire get powerful and strong, because that's where pressure works. So his job is to make sure you never upload that angel, because once you do, you dispel all this, and all this. You see all this being blown away just by Suleiman breaking the seals in 1990 and start putting pressure all over the world. You can't see it, but that's when you got to understand that concept, brothers and sisters. So you say, oh, well, the world's changing, ain't it? Is it changing in your favor, or is it changing in our favor? If it continues going like this here, who's going to benefit, you or them? You see what I'm saying? You're going to benefit, and they're going to keep going, they're going to be destroyed, because there's a pressure in the world that's greater than theirs, that's pushing theirs out of the way. That means it caused them more confusion. See? Because when your pressure is greater than you can handle, you become confused. Like, you got pressure more than you handle, right? You get sore and everything, hard, man. You're trying to get off of you. Same thing in your mind. The pressure is greater than your mind can handle. You become confused, and you start working against yourself. Understand, brothers and sisters. So their job is to make sure you never blow that angel. You keep running their software. See, that makes you keep your mind pressure low. See, once you upload the angel, boom, that vector forces come greater. Then your pressure becomes greater than theirs, and all of a sudden they're moving. See, and the point is, higher pressure moves lower pressure. But the greater high pressure, the faster it moves lower pressure. So every time one of you, right, upload the angel, right, that means you cause the effect happen much faster. But it's happening. But every time one, right, uploads, that means you have to make this much faster. That's all. Then change it just makes it happen faster. It increases it. Think about that, brothers and sisters. Okay, I think we're gonna leave it there. Let's see if there's anything else here. I think that's it. Okay. And brothers and sisters, like I said, if anything you see here makes sense to you, and you want to start learning the angel, upload it. You want to be a messenger of the covenant. You want to be a beacon for our people, right? To help them learn the angel, take them out of darkness, show them all they got to flip a switch. They don't have to walk in darkness. Give us a call, brothers and sisters. Give us a call. Be a messenger of the covenant. Okay? Be a beacon for our people. Assalamu alaikum. They're in. Assalamu alaikum.